I'm Dr. Marianne.
And I'm Dr. Adam.
And we are
Counselors in Quarantine.
And we are sponsored by our boss, Dr. Lacey Carpillo, Vice President for Student Affairs.
As psychologists in the Counseling Center here at EOU, we thought it would be fun to share some nuggets of wisdom that we share with the students we work with.
Yeah, and so this week we wanted to talk to you about this idea of really connecting with yourself and figuring out what your values are and then using your values to kind of move ahead and figure out what your goals are.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just the reality right now that things have changed. And we talk about this a lot in our videos, and a lot of our focus in the past has been actually on the stuff that we don't have control over. So this week thought it would be kind of cool, like Marianne said, to talk about goals, values, the things that we actually do have control over, and sort of where do I want to be on the other side of this, not really knowing how long it's going to last or really even where we're going.
Right, yeah. And so with the idea that, our values are really, those things that are important to us, and they basically kind of form the building blocks of kind of understanding of self, who am I as a person? And then our goals, right, are those things that we set. They're kind of measurable outcomes that we set, like something that we want to achieve, and then we figure out what it takes to go ahead and meet that goal. And so a lot of what we wanted to share with you about today is about that journey on how do we set some goals given the realities that we're in right now, but also figure out who we want to be as we journey to meet those goals. And part of the research on happiness shows that kind of anybody who crosses a finish line of reaching a goal is going to experience some degree of happiness.
It feels good.
It does, right? Because as soon as we achieve a goal, we cross a finish line, then our brain just kind of releases some endorphins and just kind of make us happy. But there is a difference though in how a person got to that finish line that kind of determines the degree of happiness and also how long that happiness,
the sustainability,
tends to last. And so Adam and I like to be happy. We shoot to be happy in every part of our lives. We like to set goals and reach goals, but we like to be happy as we get there. And so that's part of what we want to share with you today.
Absolutely. We talk about this a lot, especially when things come up that we don't want to do. The first thing Marianne will always tell me is, okay, how do we make this fun? Because that's a value of ours. That's something that we really like to do. A good example being these videos. It's like we would rather see you all in person.
Yes.
That's ideal, but since that's not an option and everything's looking different right now, then we say, okay, well, how do we make work fun? We have this extra time on our hands where we're not doing drop-ins. It's like, okay, let's do some outreach this way.
Right, we can't go on campus, do programming, and so our goal is still to share information, it's still to let all of you know we care about you, we miss you. It's to still do really, really good work, and we're doing, Zoom sessions, we're doing individual sessions that way, but with other aspects of our job that we cannot do, given that the times have changed. Spring term looks very different than spring term last year looked, then it's just figuring out, okay, what do we have to work with, and how can we still be the people we are, the therapists we are, how can you be the student that you want to be, the worker that you want to be, the parent that you want to be as you work on reaching those goals.
And so we're really encouraging you to, when you're thinking about goals, don't just think of them as things, another thing to check off the list, right? Really focus on who do I want to be, how do I want to get to where I'm going. I often think of this example in relationships, right? Sometimes people will say, oh, I just want to have a partner, I want to have a partner, I want to be in a relationship, and then it's what's the next goal? Oh, I want to be official, and then I want to get engaged, and then I want to get married, and not thinking about what kind of a partner do I want to be, what kind of fiance do I want to be, what type of partner, what type of father, what type of mother, right? Like in each of these different stages of a relationship, it's always it's often for some people just about getting to that next stage and not really enjoying the journey of where I'm at right now and how to make today better.
Right, and that focus being on the destination again. How do I get there? How do I achieve that? Versus who do I want to be and who do I want to become as I actually arrive there. And so part of what we're encouraging you to do is just to enjoy this journey that you're on, because I know for many of you, you're taking classes, you know, you want to pass your classes. For some of you, you want to graduate, you know, which is super cool. For a lot of us, we want to like keep our jobs, you know, and so those goals, we have those goals, and so looking at the reality of what you have to work with now, I mean, it's different. It is different, and we've lost a lot in a lot of different ways. I know in talking to students, you know, they've lost being on campus, being able to be around their friends, you know, the athletics, you know, a softball team lost their season, you know, and there's just so many losses. We could go on and on. You already, you know, you could name, you know, a handful in your own life. And so...
And that's actually something we encourage you to do, is to name those losses. I mean, really sit down and to think about and to grieve and to name specifically what is different for you and what you have lost. Because when you can name it and you can sort of just kind of bring it to the surface and talk about it, then you can move through it and then see, okay, what's left.
Exactly. And then with the what's left do I have to work with, that's when you figure out, okay, so what are my goals, you know? And then, again, focusing on, okay, how am I going to do this? What's my journey going to look like? Because my journey is going to look different than it has in the past. And who do I want to be when I reach those goals?
Absolutely. And so again, we want to thank you for tuning in. Know that we'll be posting more videos in the future. So if there's a topic you'd like to hear more about, or if you have questions about EOU's response to COVID-19, go to eou.edu/coronavirus and click on the questions and comments button.
And meanwhile, we encourage you to practice vulnerability, compassion, and self-care. Thanks.
See you next time.